All right, greetings everybody. Welcome to week 3 of Menu Design and Management, Ce187. Here we are at the midway point. Hope this finds everybody well. Sorry for any misunderstanding or communication within the live sessions. This has been a little bit of a rigmarole, but here we are. And if you're not here, catch us on the archive. So first things first, I want to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday weekend. I hope that you rest, enjoy, stay safe. If you need to get caught up with work, or schoolwork, this is a time to do that. If you just need a break, this is also a good time to do that. And let's see what else. So a few things. So they did make a few other changes. The late period will go until 11:59 on Friday, as opposed to the standard Thursday shutdown, because of the fact that Thursday, it is assumed that everybody will be celebrating or working, as it is common in this industry, on the holiday. So you've got that extra buffer day, and take advantage of it if you need it. However, if you don't, please do knock out that work. Again, a few things, discussion forums, sounding like a broken record. But once again, people are not following the requirements. People are not answering the questions. Read the questions. Read the questions is all I'm going to say. Answer them. This is going to get you your maximum points on your initial post. Then continue to engage with classmates. That'll give you your 2 remaining points. So if you completely answer your initial post for week 2, for example, you would get 8 points. Then by following up with comments and discussions with classmates, you're going to get the remaining 2 to get you a 10 out of 10. So every week, it's attention to detail. All right. If you want to put it into a recipe format of understanding, if you leave out a few steps or a few key ingredients, guess what? You're not going to get the end desired product. Simple as that. Attention to detail. The mind is one of the greatest advantages of a chef, all right? And detail is critical and crucial. You should walk into a kitchen. Let's say your first time in a kitchen. First thing you want to do, look where everything is. Your brain is going to just start registering things so that you know, oh yeah, I saw that the flour was underneath, near the walk-in, underneath, a prep table. Attention to detail. So that's all I'm going to say. Words of advice for success, not only in school, but also out in the industry. Let's see what else here. I think that's kind of it for just things that have been missing the mark. So on that note, let's have some fun. Let's talk about menus and menu perception, menu psychology. It's actually a huge component. So first, let's hear from you all. What's one of the first things when you sit down to a restaurant, sit down at a restaurant? Well, we're super imaginary considering COVID. Maybe you just are popping up, maybe you're perusing a to-go menu. What's one of the first things that you look at? What's the first area you look at?
Price and specials, things like that.
All right, price and specials, great idea. What about anybody else? Where else do you all look when you first open up that menu? What are you drawn to? Justin, Crystal?
Pricing.
All right. Anything else?
Pictures of the food.
Pictures. All right. So we've got a few ideas. Costs, prices. We have specials. We have pictures. Okay. What about when we think about, two people have talked about price at this point. So let's focus on that. What do you see when you see whole dollar prices versus let's take $5, all right? If you see something on the menu that's $5 or $4.99 or $4.75 or $4.50, do you have any differing thoughts on that? Does anything make you feel more inclined to get something over the other?
What all comes with that price?
Okay, well, not considering what comes with price, we're talking about the actual number layout.
I don't know if $4.95 versus $5 would, but I know psychologically it does influence you, right? That's why they price things in retail like that. So
Exactly. It has a huge, you hit it right on. Psychologically, you look at a price and you say, oh, wow, $4.99, you're already associating it with 4 as opposed to 5. So even though it might be 1 cent or 5 cents difference, which is nothing really, your brain is saying, oh, it's not bad, because you're associating it with a lower number, even though it might be 1 cent or 5 cents off from $5. So psychology of the menu. Remember, there's a reason, like you said, Rob, retail. There's a reason why things are priced at 50 and 99, because you're more inclined to buy it as opposed to solid fixed prices. All right. Now let's even talk about the actual dollar sign. If you see a dollar sign associated, if you see $9 next to the cocktail versus just a 9, do you think you would have any different feelings?
that's a good question.
Well, I'll tell you this much. So again, psychological standpoint, as soon as you put that dollar sign in front of it, you start to actually associate it with the actual dollars. While sometimes you might just look at the number and since it's not glaring right back at you, you see just the number and you're like, oh, that's okay. But as soon as you put a dollar sign, for some people, that is the immediate reminder of there's a value. I'm really attaching that to the dollar and the value. Again, this is all psychological based, which it means, unless you're studying psychology, we might not fully understand why this works or how this happens. Okay. Same like colors. What about different colors? Do you guys think that colors have any impact on how you feel when you look at a menu?
Yes. Yes.
Justin, what do you feel? Or is there any other color in particular that you?
Red and yellow automatically McDonald's.
Okay, so that's association. What about if you were on like a menu at a restaurant, not McDonald's, but you saw different colors?
Probably would catch my eye. Is more eye catching.
Okay, great. Yeah. So now you're drawn into this, right? So colors can evoke different feelings as well. Also, sometimes we think of red is attention seeking, right? Hey, sale, red hot sale. There's a reason why that saying is out there. It attracts people, okay? Some other colors might have the reverse effect. Now, again, this is not a coverall or a blanket statement for everybody, but this is what psychology has shown us and has shown us throughout doing different studies of putting menus in front of people and seeing where do they look? What do they tend to order? Okay. Same like we were talking about prices, right? So a lot of us are going, when we do go out, of course, we're going to be looking at what the costs are, right? Unless you have you have no worry in the world when it comes to money, then you're probably just not even looking at prices whatsoever. But for the majority of us, we kind of have an idea, a ballpark of what we want to spend. Let's say for our entree, You know, are we looking to, are we comfortable in that $15 to $20 range? Or am I going to go, or am I feeling a little, you know, I'm like, you know what, I think I want to have something a little bit, you know, I made some sales this week, and so I've got a little bit more extra cash, and I'm going to treat myself, and I'm more looking in the $20 to $28 range for my entree. Okay, all of these kind of influence what we're looking at. Now we know that some menu items are going to be very costly, right? Like a steak. All right, steaks tend to be pretty expensive. So does seafood, right? Chicken, pork, usually a bit more affordable. Or vegetables, depending upon where you're located. Even if we were to think about, you know, you look at where a lot of Asian restaurants are headed. Before, what they used to do, you know, you might have a price associated with, like, let's say it was, say it was chicken fried rice, all right? And you know it's $8.75 for the chicken fried rice, and $8.75 for the barbecue pork fried rice, but shrimp fried rice is $9.75 or $10.75, and the, you know, the special combination fried rice is $11.75. Okay, so you see these price differences going up by your choice of protein. What a lot of places now are doing is fried rice, and that's going to be right there, $8. Okay, got your flat base price. Then you have add chicken or tofu for $1. Chicken is usually chicken, tofu, and pork for $1. Add beef for $2. Add shrimp for $3. So this is another way of kind of setting your menu up. But I'll be honest, do you think you guys would be more likely to order a fried shrimp, shrimp fried rice that had a flat price, as opposed to a fried rice and now looking at your add-ons? Do you guys see any difference in value through those or anything? I'm just trying to hear from you all, because I know what I feel like when I see those different prices. I'm thinking, man, $3 extra for the shrimp? I don't think I really want that. Like, I'm gonna get vegetable fried rice. What do you all think? Will that lead you to, are you okay with those up charges, or what are your feelings associated with that? What do you all think?
I don't mind the upcharges for that, really, because I think that, you know, if you want shrimp and you're willing to pay, and some of these things take more money to get, you know, particularly seafood and steak nowadays. Especially with COVID, it's all going up even more. So I think this might be a trend we'll see.
100%. I think you're very much right. You know, if you've got a base, especially in a lot of the, you know, what we see in typical, you know, Chinese or Thai restaurants, you've got your pad Thai, right? And then it's, which version of this do you want to get? And it allows for a little bit more, the establishment itself to cover its costs, okay? Because as you just mentioned, Rob, there's definitely a different price, you know, a price per pound for chicken versus shrimp. So of course we want more bang for a buck, but restaurants also have to survive and need to make their profits as well. So I want to pull this up, and because this is pretty cool, and this way we'll start to get a go on psychology, menu psychology. I want to show you this really interesting website that I find fascinating, because this is somebody who's literally, you know, they are global restaurant consultants. So I think that, you know, when we think about that, that's pretty impactful and powerful. You know, they're not just looking at one thing. This is global wide. All right, they're a consultant. So there's a whole company, you know, we've got restaurants have consultants. This is a job also, you know, this is a position. And let's think. This is where it gets a little crazy and maybe kind of creepy. Every menu is carefully constructed to persuade you into making certain decisions, predominantly ones that will ultimately make you spend more dinero. All right, so let's take a look what this really could mean. All right, so here we go. Let's start looking at this. We thought it was just one thing. However, it is not. I want to make sure everybody can see this. Is this a little bit better? Can you guys see that a little bit more?
Yeah.
All right, good. So, we're getting wacko. Shoot, let me see if I can fix this. All right, so here we go. Starting off with color. All right, we were talking about red, right? Yellow. What about green? Green implies freshness, something fresh from the garden, right? Green is fresh. We always see green being associated with freshness. All right. Red and orange stimulating the appetite. Yellow is a happy color. Okay. That might get you to order more as well. Okay. So very interesting. These are subliminal things that are happening that people might. Now, not every menu is utilizing these psychology techniques, but some certainly are, okay? Now, this is what I was talking about in your currency situation. Whether, let's see if we can get in there. As you can see, man, this is just a little, I don't know if it's my glasses or if this is a little blurry, but this says this is a 5, okay? So, some restaurateurs are removing the currency sign, okay? Taking away that direct correlation between the dollar amount and the actual number that you're seeing. This can persuade people to spend up to 30% more, which is pretty fascinating. And if you're talking about a 30% increase on your check average, that is huge. That's not only huge for the restaurant, that's also huge for your front of the house staff, who then gets tipped out on a bill's total. Right? So, upsell, this is important. Now, let's talk about some of these you guys can, you know, I'll send this out to you, but there are a few other ones that I really want to show you here. All right. Negative space. What happens when we look at a menu that is crammed full of things? Let me pull one up for you, and I want to hear what you guys feel. Let's see if we can get this. All right. This one is decent. Not perfect, but it'll give us a glimpse into what we're looking at. If I can get this. Shoot, this is not the photo I want. 1 second. Man. All right, bear with me, class. Sorry. I want to make sure that we've got a good visual here. And sometimes they just don't match up what we want. Okay. Here we go. This is what I wanted. All right. What do you see? What's this? What's going on here? What is going on here?
Too much.
Yeah. Can you even read this?
It's distracting. Like your eyes, you don't know where to go. Like
Exactly. Was that you, Crystal?
Yes.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It is distracting. I don't know where the heck I'm supposed to even start to look at, right? It's all over the place. The colors are distracting because there's no clear like flow to this or indication or indicators as to what things will be. So now we start to see, oh, okay, there's some green here, which seems to indicate salads and vegetarian dishes. Tex-Mex, which is getting the yellow hue, you know, and then we've got just a bunch of white. What is happening? This menu is all over the place. Terrible. If I walked in here, I don't even know what the heck I'm gonna walk out. I don't want to. I mean, it's gonna take me 20 minutes to even start to figure out what's listed here.
I get the tater tots.
Tater tots. Okay, because the tater tots are sticking out to you, right? I would go for the poutine, right? I would probably do that. That's what stood out to me as well. Remember, now we just found how that psychology of the menu worked. Yellow was drawing us in, right? The yellow pulled us in. Okay, so yeah. What's that, Rob?
Poutine and tater tots.
Yeah, hey, and maybe that restaurant wants to sell the most poutine and tater tots because potatoes are cheap, okay? So now let's start thinking about placement. When we think about placement on menu and where we're gonna put our most expensive and our least expensive items, things are gonna be very different, right? We don't wanna just necessarily go from low cost to high. We wanna mix things up. So let's take a few other options, look at rest of these menus and see what we think might be right or might be wrong here. Does anybody see what do you guys see with this one? Does anything stand out to you that either looks good or bad or indifferent or what? What's going on with this one? Take a minute to look it over.
Is it the font on some of it is messed up?
Okay, great observation. Sorry about that.
Yeah, like
Different inconsistency on fonts. Yes,
Yeah.
great observation. What else?
The specials are front and center on the menu.
So do we think that that's a bad thing or a good thing to have those specials out there?
I mean, I guess because it's on the menu here, they would never change. They're repeated every week, it looks like.
Yep, daily specials.
I think that could be good depending on the restaurant because you could say, oh, I want to come back Friday for prime rib. You know.
Yes, great observation. Totally. It gets you excited about what's to come and say, hey, you know what? I really want to come back. I know whenever I see a place doing like a fried chicken, I'm like, I got to get back there. Like, I better check this out. So I'd probably hit up that Monday. Okay. I would also say, you know, maybe I would reword this fries and sides. Maybe I would say, you know, apps and sides, right? Maybe I want those appetizers up first so that I'm already thinking, ooh, yeah. As opposed to being a second afterthought, I'm already like, man, I want those cheese fries with bacon jam because that's catching my eye. Okay, that's going to be up front as opposed to then saying, well, I already got a burger with bacon on it. I don't think I need fries with that already. But if I've already decided I'm getting those fries with bacon jam, well, now I just did an upsell. Okay, probably would, you know, also change this up a bit. You know, we've got signature burgers that are asterisked, okay? But the classic burger just totally gets, I'm not even looking at that anymore because everything is signature burgers below. And then if you keep looking, all you really see is, you see this asterisk, our burgers are best enjoyed medium to medium rare, asterisk. And so we know we've got a Bourbonnator burger, the filet burger, the Old Smoky, the late breakfast burger, the SoCal. But yet still under the burger section, signature burgers, we've got the Cheesester or something. This is just a grilled cheese. We've got a fish and chips. We've got wings. We've got a corned beef sandwich. That should have its own header, right? Everywhere else, salads, fries and sides, daily specials. This is all out of whack. Just doesn't make any sense. It's not fluid. It doesn't flow. How about this one? We see any issues here?
You can't read it.
Bingo, you're right. It's really difficult to read because you've got these pictures of food behind it that's getting in the way of of what's actually written in the description. All right, how about this one? The ice cream one. What do you see first?
The prices kind of jump out.
You got it, Rob. That's all I see. All I see is our prices. I don't see anything else. All I see is $4, $4.75, $3.75. I'm not even looking and seeing what the menu items are. So totally distracted by the actual cost. This one's pretty obvious. Obviously, this is translation issues, right? Rude and unreasonable chicken. Obviously, just a poor translation. We see a lot of spelling errors when there's translation issues too, right? So you always want to double check if you are, okay? Let's talk about writing fettuccine Alfredo on a menu. Is that 2 T's or is it 1 L or double F's or macaroni or broccoli, right? Think about all those kind of, broccoli, is it at a double C or a double L? Some of the ones that you might get tripped up on, omelet, right? Or maybe you want to put a huevos rancheros on there. Do you know how to spell it correctly? Okay, correct spelling is really important. Risotto, Parmesan, right? You want to make sure that the words that you're using, especially if they're foreign words, that they're spelled correctly. All right. We want to be conveying the clearest, cleanest message to our guests. So let's talk a little bit more. What about, how long do you think on average does a customer look at a menu?
Every time they come in, maybe. Less
Well,
than regulars.
like how much time does a customer spend looking at it? Yeah.
Maybe 5 to 10 minutes, probably, depending.
Okay, we've got 5 to 10 minutes. Who else? Anybody else have any ideas, suggestions? Got 2 minutes from Janice coming in. Any other thoughts?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right, I love this. So I know I personally spend a boatload of time looking at the menu, right? I might be more on Justin's range, but the great majority of people or not. Even less than 2 minutes, Janice. The average customer spends under 2 minutes looking at a menu. They scan it, they've got something in mind what they want, and they're going in for it. So you've got 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes to try and sell, okay? So now, what about placement? Placement of items. We already started talking about, price and where it's going. What if I have a really expensive Kobe beef burger, okay, on that burger menu? And that's coming in at like 25 bucks. It's gonna come with a fried rig, pork belly, rendered, barbecue pork belly on there, all these other great, caramelized red onion chutney, house-made ketchup, house-made pickles, potato bun made in-house, all right? And I'm putting that out for maybe 20, 25 bucks, right? Well, let's say the rest of the burgers coming in around 18, 14. These are all specialty burgers, right? They're gonna have unique ingredients, house-made components, high quality cheese, high quality beef. Well, now that $18 burger doesn't sound that outrageous compared to the $25 burger, right? Because again, we're going back to that psychology of the menu. 25 looks crazy. 18, even though I might have walked in there thinking 18 would be crazy, when I see it compared to a 25, I'm okay with it. How we perceive is based on how the menu is laid out. Let's take a look at a few other interesting menu layouts here. Does anybody have any questions about this so far? Nope. All right. So let me pull back that menu, that psychology and menu website, because we're going to talk about the golden triangle. All right. So the golden triangle. All right. When we look at a menu, our eyes typically move to the middle first before going to the top right corner and then finally to the top left. Okay. So this is where you're going to find. Now I'm leading you into next, future week's conversations. All right. So this is that golden triangle here. All right. So in the golden triangle area, what you're going to want to put are your menu items that have the highest profit margin. What is a profit margin?
Loss and gain.
Not exactly, but you're on the right track with talking about money. What would be a profit margin?
What you make off the burger.
What you make off of the burger. Exactly. So if my burger costs $10 to make, right? And I'm selling it for 15, my profit margin is 5. Okay. And then I might have some other dishes, right? Where maybe the cost of my ingredients, my food cost to make a chicken sandwich is gonna be $7, but I'm selling it for 10. What's my profit margin?
$3.
$3, right? So I don't have as big of a profit margin on that chicken sandwich compared to that burger. The burger has a bigger profit margin. So when you know which items have the biggest profit margin, you want to put those specifically in certain areas of the menu so that you drive sales there. Okay. Again, we're in the restaurant industry. You want to open up a place to make money, to be profitable. So that means Menus have to be the driving force. Again, what did I say last week? Menus are one of the first ways you communicate to your guests. Let's even say we're at a food truck. I walk up to a food truck and the food truck's written on a chalkboard, and you know, that's my first communication. Maybe they're doing different daily specials. They're wiping them off when they're gone. How can you get enough information, important information, to your guests in a small amount of space? What do we think is important?
Description.
Bingo, Justin. Yes. Description. You want it to be exciting. Adjectives. Is it crispy? Is it crunchy? Is it spicy? Is it your grandma's peach cobbler recipe? What's the story behind it? Is there a story behind it? You want to talk to the customer. Remember, this is your chance to get them excited about a product. What about throwing in, maybe you've got some local lettuce on your burgers. You want to advertise that. Maybe they're local eggs and that's going into your breakfast sandwich. Maybe you're smoking something and it's smoked for 12 hours on like super low smoke, super low heat. You want to talk about how many hours are put into that. Maybe you're doing a red wine braised short rib and you want to make sure that your guests know that you're using a beautiful red wine from a specific region in Italy, or an Italian red wine versus a French red wine or an American red wine. Descriptors, right? Gets the guest, the customer excited. Without this excitement behind a menu description, you simply will not sell as much as you can. Now, what happens when you see a menu and, you know, it's like 5 sentences long? What are you feeling about that? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
A lot of reading.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, how the heck am I gonna get through this menu if every menu is just a jumble full of words? Too many words, right? There's descriptors and just good descriptions, adjectives, and then there are stories. Not everything needs a story, all right? Max you should be hitting is 25 words, and that's a lot, all right? You will start to see new trends. Let me pull up a menu. I don't think I've shared this one with you guys. And if I have, my apologies. But I think you'll see that there are new trends in menu writing. Let's see if we can do this. Where instead of using a lot of ands and, people are just gonna take those away, all right? You don't need to use an and everywhere. Let's see if I can see if so many, you know, all of my normal menus are honestly kind of messed up because of COVID. So I have to find these new ones, and they're all very different from what they used to be. So let's see if we can get anything here. All right, hold up. Let's see. Yeah, nope. I'm gonna have to find a new one. Sorry, this is.
I was gonna say, especially if people are looking at a menu for 2 minutes, you can't really have that many words.
Exactly, 100%. You certainly cannot have that many words coming into play, because it's not going to work. You can't read all of that. So let's see, here's one that might, let's see if this is gonna work. Aha, all right. There we go. This is getting into where we're talking about streamlining, okay? Now, what would also be important if we are writing direct description? What is really important? What's really important these days to a lot of customers? Allergies, right? Is it gluten-free? Does it contain nuts? Those are some important things. Is it raw? All right. So let's take a look at this one. This is a brunch menu at a weekend brunch menu. And as you can see, all right, so let's talk about this. All right. So we've got an apple, and this is going to just be really simple and straightforward. Yogurt, pecan, granola, and sumac honey. Right? That starts to give us an idea of what to expect. Right? What about the publican scramble? Now, they're letting us know that these Brussels sprouts are fried, right? So now we're getting some crispy ideas, right? Just even having that fried word. And we know maybe I like fried Brussels sprouts, but I don't like steamed Brussels sprouts, right? Fried Brussels sprouts have been trending. Crema and crispy shallots. Again, some simple words, but direct and clear to give us those important components that are going to be in the item and the dish. Okay, let's take a look at their dinner menu. Again, so seafood, poached shrimp, brown butter squash, Brussels sprouts, and a dill vinaigrette. This one is giving us some other important information. What do you see next to these items, whether it's the meat or the beets? What do we see?
Sourcing.
The source, exactly. So this restaurant is located in Chicago. Oh, okay, Slagle Family Farms from Illinois. Great, this is gonna be local. Wow, this is Michigan, again. Local, Chicago. Wow, they're getting mushrooms from somewhere in the city. Cool, okay. You start to get a connection and a place now you're connecting the product to a terroir, a land, all right? You see, we've got the striped bass coming from New York, or the halibut from the Alaskan coast, the shrimp from Mexico. It's giving you a place. We've got your oysters coming in from Massachusetts. But again, not a ton of descriptors, but the words that they're using are informative, like in the beets, burnt honey, burnt vinaigrette. If I just put vinaigrette, right? Beet salad. That doesn't really get me excited. But a burnt honey vinaigrette and spiced cashews and sesame, now I'm starting to get excited. I'm starting to think, wow, I wonder what that flavor combination might be. I'm interested. I want to get that one. Okay, so descriptions, placement, color, spell check, pricing. All of these are going to start to have an impact on your customers, how they purchase, how they order, and how much they order, and their total check average. So, does anybody have any questions about how important the psychology of the menu actually is when you start to break it down bit by bit, that all these little teeny factors, when you think you can just slap something on a piece of paper, it's not just that easy. It should be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It shouldn't be overwhelming. It should have a flow. Prices should be consistent. You don't want to see a bunch of 9s and then with 9.00, and then all of a sudden ones that are with 99 cents. Doesn't really make sense. Keep it fluid, keep it consistent. If you want to go on quarters, but that's more of a diner style. All right. Awesome. Janice, happy to hear that. I hope it helps. And you know, if anybody has menus, if you want me to, you know, send a menu my way, I'm happy to take a look at it, give you some tips. It always helps to have an extra set of eyes on it. But otherwise, class, let's wrap this up. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, knock out your knowledge checks, knock out your discussion forum, tidy up anything from week 2 that you didn't get full points on. Make sure you're answering all of those questions, engaging with classmates, and have a beautiful next few days off, rest, relax, enjoy, stay safe. And for those of you that are in CU 2222, I'll see you all in about 9 minutes, right back here on the same screen. All right. Gobble, gobble, everybody. Take care. Bye.